Morning. It's hard work having a baby. Finding myself waking up so often just to check on him. Not to mention the times he wants feeding, wants his nappy changed. It seems to be a permanent cycle, but we love it really. Although I do need my morning cup of coffee. I love my coffee, really do. Couldn't be without it. Anyway, my plan for today? Drink lots of coffee and make some coffee wine. Coffee wine is by far one of the easiest and cheapest wines you can make at home. It's really simple, really easy, and apparently, well, I say apparently, it's been a few years since I've made it last. It does turn out to be a really good drop. So if you like your coffee and you like your wine, what'd be better? Caffeinated alcohol. I'm going to be making wine from instant coffee granules and also freshly ground coffee. Just so I can work out and do a taste test which is better and which I prefer. So come on, let's get to it. Wine to make, coffee to drink. Right then, I'm going to be using some instant Morrison's coffee. I like this coffee, this instant coffee. The shop here in Eday doesn't always sell good coffee. Well, when it does, it's very expensive, so this is ordered in especially. And so that's going to be used for the instant coffee, wine. Also, I'm going to be using some Brazilian freshly ground coffee from a packet. That's for the other taste test wine. I'm going to use the same quantity of coffee for each wine. 1 cup per gallon. Don't know how much a cup is. It's a cup of powders, not watered down, not drinkable coffee, but just of the granules and the freshly ground stuff. 1 level cup. So that's the first thing to do, measure them out. Oh, that's so good. I do like Brazilian coffee, I do. 1 cup. Awesome. And now, boil up your water. One of the brilliant things about wine is you make it as simply as you can, or as complicated as you want. I tend to go for the simple methods because I want my wines to be easy. I'm no scientist, so I don't really faff around too much working out precise measurements, specific yeast strains. I just want good quality, tasty wine that's easy to make. The boiling water is simply to dissolve your sugar. I'm going to cold brew the coffee, so I'm not going to add boiling water to the coffee. I'm going to add warm water. Apparently it gives a lot better flavour if you don't use boiling water for the wine. Normally coffee, yeah, boiling water straight out of the kettle. So this time it's a bit novel, a cold brew. I'm using 1.5 kilos of sugar per gallon. I'm making 2 gallons. I'm doing one recipe now and then I'll repeat it with the other type of coffee. So, right, 1.5 kilos of sugar. 1 kilo plain white generic granulated sugar and 0.5 kilo of dark sugar. Brings out the coffee flavour a lot more than all white sugar. Into the saucepan, nice and easy. And in goes the brown. Right, now boiling water, dissolve the sugar. Stir, 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 stir. Right, that's stirred enough. I'm going to let it stand, cool down, and then add the rest of the ingredients and put it into a demijohn. Awesome. Back in 5, let's go for a cuppa. Well now, the sugar syrup solution has been allowed to cool. It's now just above room temperature, so I'm going to add the coffee to the syrup. Awesome stuff. 2 pans, 1 for the instant coffee and 1 for the freshly ground coffee. So I won't get confused, I hope. It should be obvious in the taste test which one is the superior coffee, I think anyway. But you never know until you try. So come on, let's add the rest of the ingredients and get this into the demijohns before the baby wakes up and I need another coffee. So the saucepan has the ground coffee, and the bowl has the instant. Give them both a good stir, dissolve everything a bit more fully. Mix it all in. Oh, I'm getting caffeine buzz just from the smell. As you can see, I'm trying to film this by myself today. My wife Dee normally gives me a hand to film when I'm doing this type of video, but she's busy with a baby. He's eating ever so much, he is. Non-stop eating, 24 hours a day he's attached to her. She's walking around, arm ache, carrying the baby. So she's leaving me to get on with some things behind the scenes. All the washing, all the cooking, all the wine making, all the coffee drinking. But I'm not complaining. I love them both. Anyway, next step. Lemon juice. Citric acid acts as a stabiliser for your wine. Helps keep it, well, from going off really. It also brings out the sharpness and the flavour. Coffee is very bitter, I think, so we need quite a bit of citrusiness to counterbalance the bitter. And put a few dashes in. Squirt, pour, you know. I would ideally use lemon juice from a lemon. So I normally have a few bottles of lemon juice in the cupboard. Very handy if you have a cold or the flu or winemaking. So if you have a real lemon, good for you, use it. Otherwise use lemon juice. 2 demijohns, put in 2 downs. Let's pour. That's the first one done. Time for the next. I'm not filling them all the way up. I'm just filling them to the shoulder level because I have a feeling they don't ferment like mad and bubble and be all manic and lively. Well, it's simple, it's obvious, isn't it? It's caffeinated sugar. It's going to go balmy in the demijohn. So I'm leaving lots of headspace and I'll top it up when it calms down. Probably come down with a bit of a crash, I think, but hey. Well, one thing left to do, and that's add yeast and yeast nutrients. And then let them bubble and bubble and bubble, and I'll top them up, and then hopefully I'll see what they're like. Fantastic. Come on, bubble. Well, a day has passed and they're bubbling really well. There's a lovely head forming on the filter coffee wine. I think that's just because it's a finer grain, whereas the instant is, well, a little bit better, less foamy. It'll be interesting to do a taste test with these, which I'm going to do in a few months when they've finished bubbling, finished fermenting, and also had time to mature. So subscribe and I'll update you with the progress in due course. See you soon.